Okay, so today I'll take help of the PPT because to only make it fast. I'm just taking help of the PPT because it's a very simple topic, and that too you can easily understand, right? There's nothing like explaining much on it. So the topic is operators in the C programming for today's class. So let me go to a full screen mode. Yeah, I think all of you are able to see it. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So the operators, right? So in the last class already we have taken the plus, minus. I think everything. Only plus we have used. I think addition of two numbers programming I have written without discussing on the operators. Today let us focus only on the operators, which possible operators which we use for any kind of algorithm you wanted to develop for a given problem. So let us see one by one. So exactly what is an operator, right? All of us already aware of it, but only the practice, right? Again, we are trying to discuss the definition point of view. So just a minute, I think. Okay. So here, the operator is a symbol which tells the computer to perform a particular mathematical or logical manipulations. Okay. So these operators are used in the program to manipulate the data and variables. Ultimately, I said, for any problem is given to you, you're supposed to take the input, modify the or apply those inputs to some algorithm and to get the output. So that is called solution generally. So in that context, it is said that these operators are used in the programs to manipulate the data and variables. So I think we have seen where C was declared, but it was not defined. But by using an addition operator, we could write the result of summation of A and B into the variable C. So it is something like you are modifying the garbage value with a required data. That is called manipulation, and sometimes overwriting the existing data, sometimes defining the data of some expression. Anything is okay. So in that way, you can say that the second statement. Fine. So coming to the grouping, right? There are so many operators are there. It is difficult to remember at a stretch all of them. So that is the reason all the operators are divided into some groups, and where each group is given a name. Okay. So most familiar operators to everyone of us is like arithmetic operators, where you see the addition, subtraction, the multiplication, division. Then there are some extra operators which you never come across. That is called modulus operator. We also call it as a reminder operator, that I will show you in the subsequent slides. So that is the first group is called arithmetic operators. Then second group is called relational operators. So when I say relational operators, we're trying to have a comparison between two different data items. That is the meaning of a relational operators. Something like you're trying to compare your marks, right? Who is the topper of the class? So generally we try to compare the marks. The highest marks whoever gets, we call it as a topper of the class. So who is second, who is third. So relation is all about comparison point of view. Then comes a logical operator, which will tell you either no, there are logical operations. Anybody aware of what are the different logical operations? You might have studied in your plus two also. Anyone of you can respond. What are the different logical operations?
Truth table.
Yes. Sorry. Logical operators. You might have studied, no? And, or, not, XOR. Remembered or not?
Yes, sir.
Respond, one of you. You have not studied all these things in your plus two? Maybe in the physics, or I don't know which subject it is going to deal with this. Anyhow, I'm going to talk about again that third group of operators called logical operators. Then comes assignment operators. Assignment is all about, I think you're trying to move the data from one variable to the other variable. That is called assigning. It means you're trying to assign the data of A plus B, which is a result, into the variable called C. That is called assignment. Equal to is also called the kind of an assignment operator. But there are various versions of variants of the assignment operators are there, that we will discuss one by one in the subsequent slides again. So then comes the fifth group is called increment and decrement operators. where you can either you increase or decrement the content of a particular variable. So that is called the increment and decrement operator. Then comes a conditional operator. So conditional operator, it is something like relevant to relational operators only, but separate special operators are made. So they are more or less related, but symbolically they are given a different look, right? How you see it, it's a different version. So conditional operators also I'll show you. Then comes bitwise operators. For the electronics engineers, I think the group bitwise operator is more important. For other branch of students, it may not be so different, and it is like just a operator. Whereas for us, most of the in the future, they are going to develop some kind of embedded related projects or any electronic related projects by using a computer. I think bitwise operators are widely used. Then comes special operators, which we will see, which does not comes under any of the above said different types of operators. So let me go one by one. First, let me take the arithmetic operators. As I said, first four are more familiar to all of us: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. But the last operator is called percentile. The symbol is percentile. Generally, it is going to. It is also called modulo division or modulus operator. Whenever you perform a division of two numbers, means whatever remainder you are trying to expect, quotient will be the division operator. Remainder you wanted to extract, then you are going to use a modulus operator. Something like if I am asking you to divide the 5 with a 2, what is the quotient, what is the remainder? Can anybody tell? 5 divided by 2.
2 1.
What will be the quotient?
2.
What is the remainder? Yeah. So if you want to extract the quotient, division operator must be used. If you want to extract only the remainder, then the modulus operator can be used. Okay. So that is the only extra operator you all must remember. Again, after this, we are going to verify also, or there is a program is also given in the next slide. But try to remember all these things are given or categorized as an arithmetic operators. Now this is a very simple program. One program which can verify all different operators. So here I think in the last class the program already have written. It's a very basic program in which only the addition was written, but here besides an addition, all different operators are verified. So I can understand this particular program as a verification of all arithmetic operators. Okay. So here you can see the I'm trying to declare how many variables. Can anybody tell how many variables are declared here? In the very first line, how many variables are defined? Defined or only declared?
7.
7, sir.
Yeah, tell me, is it declaration or also definition or only declaration? You must tell.
Only declaration.
Only declaration.
The first line indicates what? Because all of you have undergone, no? The last class I explained the program. So you must be in a position to explain now. The first line indicates what?
Declaration.
Declaration.
Very good. So there is no definition, right? So how many variables are declared?
7, sir.
7.
7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what for it is? A and B for what purpose?
Input.
A and B variables are meant for what purpose? Can anybody tell? Respond. So these two variables are meant for accepting the inputs from the keyboard. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, remaining variables are to take the result of different operator. So add is a variable which will accept the addition of A and B. SUB sub is a variable which can accept the result of subtraction. Similarly, multiplication MUL will be used variable. For the quotient, DI will be used. For the remainder, REM will be used. Correct or not? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
And everybody has no doubt in the scanf. Scanf percentile D, comma, ampersand A, comma, ampersand B. I think last class same thing we used, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? And what is that forward double slash? After scanf onwards, we have written, no? Scanf onwards, we are
Comment.
comments, right? What does it mean? Comments means, is it a part of the program or only for the readability we have written?
Readability.
Readability.
Only for readability. They are
Only
not.
for readability.
Yeah, the compiler will not consider those lines are the part of the program, so it won't do any conversion into a machine language. Okay, fine. So then followed by printf. The result of the addition is equal to %d backslash n. So I hope if I am going to use their sub instead of add, what is going to happen? First printf instead of add, if I write sub, what is the result?
A minus B.
Can I interchange all the printfs, or it should be in the same order? There are how many printfs are there? 5 printfs are there.
5.
Because there are 5 operators, correct or not? So can I have a liberty to change the order of the printfs, or it has to be in that order only? You tell me.
We can change the order, sir.
You can
We
change
can
the order.
change,
There's
sir.
nothing wrong. Why?
Yes,
Because
sir.
my data is available in 5 different variables. Which variable you wanted to print is up to you, correct or not?
Yes, sir.
So you might can I use only one variable to print all the results? Is it possible to take only one
Yes, sir, we
variable
can
and
do
print
it,
all
sir.
the operators result? How can we do it?
We have to write multiple %LD, sir.
No. You try to understand my question. How many variables we have taken in this program? Total 7 variables, correct?
Yes, sir.
Two variables for the inputs and 5 variables for the different operators output. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Now what is my requirement is I wanted to reduce the number of variables. To verify the operators, why should I go for 5 different variables for taking the output? Is it possible to have only one variable as an output? Let's total 3 variables. A comma B comma C, that's it. C is going to print the output of all the operators. Is it possible? Tell me. Is it possible or not? Okay, I'll leave it to you the doubt, right? I request all the students to think over. I want to reduce the amount of memory usage, right? If there are 7 variables, 7 into 4, total 28 bytes memory is useful. So I just wanted to save the memory. Instead of 28 bytes, let me have only 12 bytes. A is 4 bytes, B is 4 bytes, C is also 4 bytes. And because I'm just verifying the operators, is it correct or not? So only for verification of the operator, why should I spend 28 bytes of memory instead only 12 bytes I wanted to use? Is it possible or not? If possible, how to write it? So I just want that program. So everybody take it as your homework or assignment. It's up to you. That is the first one. Just hold on. Just a minute. Okay, fine. So let me go back to the program. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
respond.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So everybody just make a note of it. I just want from all of you, you write in your notes by using a single variable. We wanted to verify all the results of the operators. Anytime I might ask. Okay. Yeah, I might ask to switch on the video and show me the notes. Okay. Just take a note of it. Then let us go to the second group of operators, which we call it as a relational operators. As I mentioned, it's generally useful for the comparison point of view. So relational operators are used to compare two quantities and take the certain decisions depending on the relation. So here the question is, maybe in the placements, right? After the final year, if a company is coming and they wanted to filter out, right? So then what do they do? Generally, they'll put up a threshold of the percentage of marks. So every student is compared with the percentage of marks. Then they take a necessary decision whether to take them for an interview or simply to filter out. So that kind of things, generally this kind of symbols are useful. So here also we are writing that if the specified relation is true, it returns a 1 for the computer, right? How to decide which one is correct and which one is not, or which one is greater or which one is less, and the comparison result is true or false. Whereas true or false for a computer, it doesn't understand any English words, right? So that is the reason the binary 1 and binary 0 will be the written values. So the specified relation is true, the result of the operation will be the 1, and if the specified relation is false, the result of the operation will be the binary 0. So here the various operators for the relational things are, so less than, which we know, and now it's a combination, less than or equal to. It's a like combination of assignment as well as comparison. So here what we are trying to do is, if you are trying to compare between two values, either less than or equal to, anything is okay. Then there is a greater than, then there is a greater than or equal to, then equal to, right? So most common mistake most of the time every student will do is, they get confused with a single equal to and double equal to. Single equal to is useful for assigning the data from one variable to the other variable. 2 times equal to, if we are using, it is useful for the comparison purpose. Then last one is called exclamation followed by the equal to operator, which is called is not equal to. When you wanted to compare that both of them are not equal, then you can use the last operator. So total here also we have around 6 operators. Arithmetic are 5 operators and relational operators are total 6 operators. So that is how you must remember each and every operator. And at the end, the programming, when you start writing, which operator must be used at what point of time, if you know that, I think the programming is very simple. So unless you practice more and more programs on the various operators, then you will not be able to understand, right, when to use what type of operator. So I just want all of you to remember and practice at least 5 to 6 programs on each type of operator. So now I'm just giving the result of verification of the relational operators here, similar to. So here you can see, coming to the arithmetic operators, I have used a separate variable to take the output, but here, as I said, the computer will take true means 1 and false means 0. I'm not taking any separate variable. So here only 2 variables are taken for the purpose of applying the relational operator. So I'm just reading the A and B values from the keyboard, and directly inside the printf only I am able to verify. So can anybody tell what will, suppose A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 10, assuming that, okay, I'm just repeating, A is equal to 5, I'm taking from the keyboard, and B is equal to 10, I'm taking from the keyboard. Can anybody tell what is the output of the first printf? Yeah, I'm asking all of you. What will be the output of the first printf? Go on, fast. What will be the output? A is 5, B is 10. So instead of name of the variable, directly the expression I'm writing. Am I right? As per the syntax, in the last class, in the programming part, whenever percentile D is used, I mentioned that it must be a variable to represent what is the value we are going to print. So here, no variable is used, directly expression is used. So expression is A less than B, so it is nothing but 5 is less than 10. 5 is less than 10, true or false? Respond.
True.
True.
True means the percentile D will be printing what? In place of percentile D, what is going to be
1,
printed?
sir.
True means for the computer 1 or 0?
1, sir. 1.
Yeah, 1 is going to be
One.
printed. So output will be the less than value of A is 1. That is how it is printed. Okay. Is it okay or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, can anybody tell what will be the output of the second printf? The less than equal to value of A is
1.
1 again, because either of these two conditions should match, either less than or equal to. Any less than is there, so you can say that is okay. Then third one,
0.
the greater than value of a is
Sir, 0.
0.
0. Very good. Then the greater than or equal to value of a is
0.
0 again.
0.
Then the double equal to value of a is
0.
0.
0.
The not equal to value of a is
1.
1. I hope everybody understood now.
Yes, sir.
So instead of I said in the last class, it's last program, why do you waste the variable taking data 1 or 0 into variable and then again using in the printer? Instead of that, to reduce the memory, directly the expression can also be written in place of the variable. Okay, for the relational operators. Is it clear to all of you? If you say
Yes,
okay, I
sir.
can move to the next type of operators. Can I move to the next type?
Yes, sir.
Then comes the logical operators. I think I asked you in the beginning, logical AND operator, logical OR operator, and logical NOT operator. The symbols are 2 times ampersand or AND symbol. Then logical OR is straight line, we call generally pipe, double pipe generally we call. On the keyboard, it will be exactly above the enter key, if I'm right. Okay, shift followed by that key you press, you find this a line with a there is a break in the line, vertical line with a break will looking, but here we don't see in the symbolically. It's simply 2 times a pipe. And then comes exclamation, which is going to represent a not symbol. So logical AND, logical OR, and logical NOT. Only 3 operators are there for the logical group. And let us verify. I think here the when do we use this kind of operators? Okay, so these operators are used for testing more than one condition and making the decisions. So more than one condition means there are 2 things. More than one condition is you might be able to see, just now I mentioned in the placement, this is to the company which is going to conduct an interview. They do 2 things. One is 70% greater than the first condition, and maybe a particular subject, because the company is working for a particular subject related field. All the students are expected to get at least 75% of that particular subject marks. So there are 2 things. Overall 70% is also required, and in a particular subject also the students are expected to score more than 75%. So there are 2 conditions whenever you wanted to verify that kind of algorithm you wanted to develop. Generally we go for logical operators. It could be OR or AND, or it could be NOT. Later we'll see some of the examples on it, but right now the verification of the logical operators you can see here. So this is an example program. So again, first 3 lines there is no change compared to the previous program. You are reading the data into the variables A and variable B, where A is 5 and B is equal to 10. Again, I'm trying to take. Now I don't tell anything. You only mention what will be the output of the first printf. Yeah, please go on. Don't waste much time. Don't take much time. What will be the output of the first printf when A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 10?
Sir, 1, sir.
Yeah, 5 less than 10. True or false?
True, sir.
And A is not equal to B. True or false?
True.
So both are for AND output, both should be true and true. Then result will be
True.
True.
2 means
1.
1.
yeah, 1 is going to be printed in the first printf. Second printf,
1, sir.
1, sir.
because A less than B is true, but B less than A is false. Correct?
Yes, sir.
True or false is equal to
True.
true only. So true is nothing but 1. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Then followed by the last one. Can anybody
True,
tell
sir.
what is? Because A
True,
is
sir.
double equal to B the false. False of not will be.
True.
True.
So you'll get output is equal to 1. So all outputs are 1, 1, 1. Right or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a verification of the logical operators program. Again, I don't spend one particular class only for the verification of the operators. So in this PPT only the examples are given. I want you to do it on your own. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then comes the 4th group called assignment operators. As I mentioned, right, in the relational, some of the equal to symbols already we have used. So it is more or less along with the equal to operator, some addition things are added. So let us see here. These operators are used for assigning the result of an expression to a variable or variable to a variable. Anything is okay. So expression to the variable means you can write right hand side an expression. I think we have seen in the previous two programs. It's an equation, basically expression a less than b or b greater than a, or logical, and directly we are used inside the printf. So that is an expression directly percentile d is going to accept the result, or else you can use directly from expression to a variable. So here only b is equal to a. What does it indicate? B is equal to a indicates what? Value of b is given to a, or a value of a is given to the b. Which one is right?
The value of A is given.
Value of A is given to B.
Right to left. Okay, try to remember. The assignment operator always move the data from right hand side variable to a left hand side variable. Okay. Generally, in the C programming point of view, we call L value and R value. The right hand side is always towards an assignment, and L value is always towards taking the data. Okay. So then, in place of equal to, you can use no. So actually, it should be plus. Double equal to is not correct, because it is related to the relational operators only for the comparison. But because equal to symbol we are using, it is given here. But otherwise, you can just go with second symbol onwards. Plus equal to, minus equal to, star equal to, then backslash equal to, percentile equal to, then greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and equal to, or equal to, then XOR equal to. So what does it mean? I'll explain. It's very simple. Whenever you are trying to use three variables or two variables only, a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 10, I just perform the addition of these two numbers. I think so far in the programs, whatever I have shown, we are using a third variable to accept the result. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
C is equal to a plus b. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Now I don't want to use third variable. I wanted to use one of the input variable as outputs. Means something like a is equal to a plus b. Can I write that way?
Yes, sir.
Can I write a is equal to a plus b?
Yes, we can write, sir.
Yeah, we can write a, because once input, because right to left evaluation will be done always. So a will be having 5 and b is equal to having a 10. A plus b becomes 15. Then you are overwriting the value of variable a. 5 is earlier available. You are trying to overwrite 5 with a value of 15. Yes or no? Is it clear? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm unable to write here, but on the PDF, but I'll tell you, A is, I request all of you, A equal to A plus B can be written as A plus equal to B. Both are same actually. We call it as a shorthand notation. So let me write here, just wait. It takes time. Whenever a same source variable is acting as a destination variable, in that situation we make use of this assignment operators. Just a minute. Okay, I think I have used this class very long back. Okay, so here what I'm saying, A is equal to, just a minute. Okay, fine. So whenever some A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 10, you have, if I am writing A is equal to A plus B, so generally what is going to happen, there is a variable A having 5, then this is a variable B having 10. After this is executed, this 5 will be overwritten with a 15. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so instead of writing this lengthy equation, this can also be written as A plus equal to B. So the both are equal actually. A equal to A plus B can be written as A plus equal to B. It is like indicates that this is the source as well as destination. Source as well as destination plus is an operator is equal to second input. Second input. Something like this. Okay, you should remember, which is nothing but source is equal to source plus input. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
So whenever you wanted to use source and destination same variable, instead of using 3 times name of the variable, only one time you can use. A equal to A plus B can be written as A. All, in fact, all the operators for whatever you have seen, whether it is the additional arithmetic operators or logical operators, that is the reason. Bitwise operators also given, but so far bitwise operators have not discussed. So that is the reason you just try to remember only this part. So let me go back to the the PPT here. So I think here the program is given. Now I think what will be the output for the first two printfs? Is it same or different? Yeah, tell me.
Different, sir.
They're different.
Different. What is the first output? Suppose A equal to 5, B equal to 10.
15.
sir, first one.
15.
C equal to first value is 15. Next printf is
25, sir.
25.
Because C plus equal to B is nothing but C is equal to C plus B, no? So C is already having 15. So 15 plus 10, which will become 25, right or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, then immediately third one,
20.
20, very good. C is equal to C minus A. So 25 minus 5, which is 20. Then immediately next one,
10, sir.
yeah, 20 into 5.
5.
How much?
100.
100, sir.
Yeah, C is equal to C star, 20 into 5, which is 100. Then fourth, the second last,
10.
C is equal to C divided by B.
10, sir.
100 by B, which is 100 by 10 is equal to 10. Quotient, right or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so C becomes 10. Then C percentile equal to B. 10 by 10 percentile,
Zero.
10 is equal to 10 percentile B.
0.
0.
0, because there is no reminder at all. So the way, right, before you execute the program, you must observe an output, expect an output, write separately, then you execute, and then verify whatever you expected the result is coming or not. That is a good programming practice. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Then let me go to the next group, which is called increment and decrement operator. I think similar to the previous one, where instead of using 2 times, you can use only one time name of the variable. Okay, A is equal to A plus B, as I mentioned. Here, the two most useful operators which are present in the C are the increment and decrement operators. They are represented by 2 times plus symbol and 2 times minus symbol. So the operator 2 times plus adds 1 to the operand, and the operator 2 times minus subtracts 1 from the operand. Both are unary operators. The other name for these two operators called unary operators, because only one variable they try to take as an input. So both are unary operators and can be used as a pre or post increment or pre decrement. I'll tell you what does it mean. Let me go back here. Just a minute. Okay, so I'm trying to explain here. 2 times plus, right? Suppose A is equal to 10, I'm taking after declaring. Simply I'm using A plus plus. I'm trying to printf percentile D A. Can you tell me what is the value of A now?
11.
Yeah, this is equal to A equal to A plus 1. That is what it is said now in the statement. The 2 times plus symbol will add 1 to the variable or operand, correct or not? When you use A double plus, which is equivalent to A is equal to A plus 1, only thing is the 1 is default, implicit. Is it clear? What is the value of A now?
11.
11, correct or not? Similarly, I can also use followed by I'm using A minus minus printf percentile D A. Can you tell me what is the output here?
9.
Yeah, you said it is 11. Here it should be. This is a sequence. This is statement 1. This is statement 2.
Same, sir.
Statement 3. This is statement 4. This is statement 5. So in the statement 1, I'm going to create a memory of 4 bytes with a name A and value is 10. Correct? Yes or no? After the statement 2, A becomes how much? 11. Correct or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
After printf percentage d a, 11 is printed. After that, what I'm doing? A minus minus. What does it mean? A minus minus is equal to A is equal to.
11 minus 1.
So what is A value like here now?
10.
10.
11.
No, already overwritten. 10 was overwritten with 11. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
A is already modified, no? By using A double plus. So current value of A is 11 now. 11 minus 1. What is going to
10.
happen? 11 minus 1, 10. Again, this 11 will be 10. Then if you try to print here, it will be 10. Is it okay? These are the two simple operators. So other way of using is, this is case 1, how we use in the C programming. The case 2, right? The second case, how do we use is this way. A is equal to 10. Maybe comma I'm using, B also I'm using. This is not semicolon, this is only a comma. So it is something like int A equal to 10, B. Then I'm using B is equal to A plus plus. Try to print percentile D space or tab. Tab means after 5 spaces. Again, one more percentile D backslash n A comma B. Can you tell me what is the output now?
10 comma 11.
10 comma?
11.
Yeah, if you look at this particular statement, first A, whatever value of A is there, I'm trying to represent two blocks. 4 bytes of memory here and 4 bytes of memory here. This is A, this is B. So A is 10, B is a garbage. Yes or no? Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
When you do B is equal to A plus plus, it is called generally post increment. Post increment means I'm using double plus after the variable or before the variable.
After the variable.
So it's called post. After the variable, post increment. Post increment means first value of A will be assigned to the B. What is the value of A at this level? What is the value of A?
10, sir.
10.
So garbage will be overwritten by 10. So B will be 10. Then A will be modified to A plus plus. No, it indicates A is incremented by 1, which is 11. Correct or not? Then what is your final output? It is 11 space, then 10. Is it clear? Any doubts? Yeah, if any doubts, please ask. It is called post increment. It means first you assign the variable value, then you increment the variable. So variable value was 10 before the increment. So B is assigned with the value 10. Then A is incremented to the 11 and you try to print the value of A and B. So A is 11 and B is equal to 10. Is it okay? I'm giving a case 3 now. Nobody is responding. If you have a doubt, please ask. Any doubts in the previous one? So case 3. Again,
No,
same.
sir.
Yeah, tell me. No doubts?
No, sir. No doubt. No
Okay,
doubt, sir.
very good. Then A is equal to 10 comma B. Then B is equal to plus plus. I can also use the 2 times plus, which is the increment operator before the variable A. Then I'm trying to use printf percentile D backslash T, which is the tab. Again, percentile D backslash N A comma B. Can anybody tell what is the value again? So always you try to have this kind of analysis.
11.
4 bytes memory is allocated. 4 bytes memory is allocated. This is A, this is B, this is 10, this is the garbage. Yeah, after this, what is going to happen? Plus plus is written before the variable, after the variable.
Before the
The
variable.
variable.
So it is called pre-increment. It is called pre-increment. Pre-increment. Pre-increment means what? First value is incremented by how much? 11, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then the 11 will be assigned to
B.
B. Then what is the output?
11, comma 11.
Yeah, there's no comma, basically spaces. The tab indicates 5 spaces. space 1, space 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, you will get 11. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then similar to even minus also you can use. Case 4. Int a is equal to 10 plus a printf percentile d backslash n. What is the value?
11.
11, correct? When you don't write left hand side variable, when there is no L value, generally write left hand side value, right? Whether you write plus a or a plus does not make any difference. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Does not make any difference. Or both are same or not? Only when you assign to the some other variable there is a difference. But if you write only variable a plus or a plus, post or pre-increment doesn't have any significance. Is it clear to all of you? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Go back. So this is what about increment and decrement operator. I think same thing is here. Now I guess you can explain now. Enter the values for a and b. I'm entering 5 and 10 again. A equal to 5, b is equal to 10. What is the first printf?
6.
What is the output of the first printf?
6.
Tell me.
6.
6.
Very good. C is equal to 6. Second printf?
7.
7.
6 only, because it is a post increment. No, a value is incremented to 6. No. See, when you write c is equal to plus a, c is equal to 6. A is also 6. No. Yes or no? Is it a post increment or pre increment in the second printf?
Post increment.
Post increment. What I said in the post increment, case 2. What is going to happen? First value is assigned, no? What is the value of a?
6.
6 will be assigned to the c. The c will be printed there, which is 6 only. Then a is increased to
7.
7, right? So first 6 will be assigned to the 6, then a will be incremented to 7. Is it clear in the second printf?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, then
Yes,
go to the
sir.
third one. The third one is what?
9.
Yeah, it is good. First
Nine.
pre-decrement. First 10 will be decremented to the 9, then it will be assigned to the c. Then what is the last printf?
9.
9.
9. Because even though b changes to the 8, before it changes to the 8, value of b was 9. So 9 is assigned to the c, then b is modified. Correct? Is it okay? Is it clear to all of you or not? I hope I feel like most of you are getting confusion on this, correct? Again, I will share this, no, otherwise you try to, I will share this, no, 4 cases. Case 1, case 2, then case 3 and case 4. If you remember these 4 different cases, then you will not find any difficulty, okay? Okay, fine. So let me go to the next one. Conditional operators. As I said, it is almost like a comparison only, but a separate symbol is used and separate syntax is used. So the conditional operators are used to construct a conditional expression of the form. Whenever you are having only one condition and one output you wanted to take it, or one action you wanted to perform. So the syntax is given here. The expression you can evaluate based on the true or false condition. So expression 2 is true, then expression 1 is equal to expression 3. If it is false, expression 1 is equal to expression 3. That is the meaning of it. Here you can see where expression 1, expression 2, expression 3, all are, it could be variable for expressions. The other name for conditional operator is called ternary operator. I'm trying to explain by using some example. I think next, yeah, it is here. So let me explain. Again, I have a 3 variables here, a, b, and x. Then I'm trying to enter the value of a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 10. Now here expression 1 is equal to x value here. X is equal to, it's the expression 1. So x is equal to, I have two different expressions here. One expression will be a greater than b. The other expression is a colon b. Now you can see here, it is something like, if a is greater than, if first expression 1 will be verified, is it true or false? According to you, a greater than by is true or false, you tell me? 5 greater than 10, true or false?
False.
Yeah, when it is false, the expression 3 will be assigned to the x. If it is true, expression 2 will be assigned to the x. Remember? Expression 1 will be checked for the comparison, is it true or false. If it is true, expression 2 will be considered for the evaluation. If it is false, expression 3 will be evaluated for the expression. Is it okay? Okay, according to you now, can you tell me what is the value of x? 5 greater than 10, true or false?
False.
False means A should be taken or B should be taken?
B.
B, right? So expression 3 is for the false, expression 2 is for the true. That is how you must remember. So biggest value is simply, which one we taken? B is taken, right or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, suppose I take A is equal to 10, B is equal to 5. Then what is the condition? A greater than B. True or false?
True.
So which one will be taken? A will be taken or B will be taken?
A.
A is equal to 10 anyhow, correct or not?
Yes, sir.
So biggest value of two numbers can be done by using a single statement. So in that case, the ternary operator will be useful. So conditional operator, other name is a ternary operator. Ternary means total 3 different operands. X is one operand, or if A greater than B is one operand, A is the second operand, B is the third operand. So it's called ternary operator. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So again, I just want all of you to practice. The more you practice, it will be more easy to understand. Only I am trying to explain now. Then comes a bitwise operators. I said one of the important group of operators called bitwise operators. It is similar to AND only, but there is a small change. I will explain what are they. First, try to remember the symbolic representations. So these operators work on the bit level and apply to the integers only. This is most important. The second point. Only for the integers, these particular operators are useful. For the float and the character also you can apply, but strictly speaking, integers you try to remember. Floats you cannot apply the bitwise operators. So operators are given by a single ampersand or single AND operator for the bitwise AND, single pipe for the bitwise OR, the cap for bitwise exclusive OR, and left shift is for double less than, and right shift is for 2 times greater than for the right shift. So the programming is very simple. Before I explain, let me go back to the explanation part. Bitwise operators, okay? So coming to the bitwise operators, if I'm having 12 and 15, so what is the equivalent binary number for 12? Can anybody tell? In the very beginning classes, I mentioned how to convert a decimal number to a binary number. What is the equivalent value for 12? Tell me fast. Everybody try and tell me. I think one group can try for 15 and other group can try for 12. Don't go all of you for 12 only. Some of you can go for 15. Yeah, 12 is 1100. What about 15? Simple, all ones, no? Maximum value.
Yes, sir. 4 ones.
Okay. So when it's called bitwise AND, right? Bitwise AND, itself indicating Luckily here 12 and 15 both are of how much length? Binary length. Number of bits equal to length of the binary number. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So 4 bits. 4 bits. So simply you can do this way. Always from LSB you need to start. This is LSB. This is MSB. So we will perform only between these two first. 0 and 1. What is the result? 0 and 1. What is the result?
Zero.
0. 0 no. And means both should be 1 no.
Yes, sir.
0 and 1.
Zero.
1 and 1.
0.
1.
And 1 0 na. True and true.
True, sir.
True no. So 1 and 1. 1. Again 1 and 1.
1.
So what is the result you will get? 12 only no.
12, sir.
So if I am getting A is equal to 12, comma B is equal to 15, comma C, this is my integer declaration, and I'm writing C is equal to A single ampersand B, then printf percentile D backslash N C. What is the output now? Value of C is what? Tell me.
12.
12.
Very good. Now I'm trying to go over same one, same continuation. C is equal to A or B. Printf percentile D backslash N C. What is the output? What do you do now again? 1100
15.
4 ones.
15.
0 or 1 1, 0 or 1 1, 1 or 1 1, 1 or 1 1. So it will be 15. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then again I will continue with the same values. C is equal to A XOR B. Printf percentile D backslash N C. What do you mean by XOR? What do you mean by XOR? When both are different inputs, output is 1. When both are same inputs, output is 0. That is an XOR operator. Okay. So 0 and 1, same inputs or different inputs?
Different.
So it is 1. 0 and 1.
1.
1. 1 and 1.
0.
0. 1 and 1. 1 and 1. Same, no? Same means 0, right? So if inputs are similar, output will be 0. If inputs are dissimilar, output is 1. That you must remember, okay? For XOR operator. Output is 1 when inputs are different. When inputs are different. Is it clear? For XOR operator. So what is the value you will get?
3.
Okay, 3 will be printed. Is it okay? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think next is less than and greater than. Okay. Negation is also there. It was not given. I'll tell you. This is also you note down, which was not given. It's called negation. Bitwise, not actually. Bitwise, not. So A is equal to what? 1100, no? And this is A. Not of A means complement. 0 is changed to
1.
1. 0 is changed to
1.
1 is changed to
0,
0, 0. What is the value?
3.
So printf percentile D backslash N C, it will be 3. Okay. This is called negation. Bitwise not. Then comes, I'm trying to explain left shift and right shift. Left shift and right shift. What does it mean? I'll explain first, then I'll go with the operator. Suppose I have a memory of 4 bits. Memory of only 4 bits. Maybe 1, 0, 1, 1. Can you tell me what is the value here? 1011. What is the equivalent decimal number? 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 3, 2 power 4. This is 1011.
11, sir.
Yeah, it is 11. 11. Correct or not? Now I'm trying to shift left. Shift left means it is something like MSB. This is an MSB. This is an LSB. When you do the shift left, this 1 will be removed. In place of 1, 0 is written. In place of 0, this 1 will be written. In place of this 1 will be written. And this is a vacancy, right? The vacancy is created. Vacancy, whatever is created, it will be overwritten by 0. Okay? Vacancy is updated by 0. Is it clear? That is the left shift operation. Can anyone tell what is the value with this one?
6.
6. Correct or not? Yeah, 1, 1, 0. No? I think it is 11. Correct or not? 11 means 6 you are getting, no? So something like 11 by 2 is how much?
5.5.
11 by 2 is how much?
5.5.
5.5. Right? Approximately to higher integer is how much?
6.
6. Okay. If it is not exactly divisible by 2, when you perform the left shift, its multiplication is happening, or division is happening by 2 with a approximate to the higher integer. Suppose I take a number exactly divisible by 2. Let me take an example of, just now you mentioned 110, 1100. What is the value of it?
12.
What is the equivalent decimal number? Equivalent decimal number is how much?
12, sir.
Generally, when you do the left shift, it should multiply by 2. I think, okay, there is a small change. Assuming that this is a sign bit. Assuming that this is a sign bit, 011 is equal to how much? 3, no? If it is a sign bit, only these numbers is your magnitude. Yes or no? Tell me. I'm repeating. When you assume that this is a sign bit for you, this 1, how many bits are going to represent your magnitude? Only 3 bits. 011. What is 011? What is 011? Tell me. 3.
3.
So 3. When you do the left shift, this 1 is coming here, this 1 is coming here, and 0 you are trying to overwrite. The value is coming as 6. So is it on multiply by 2 is happening for the left shift? I'm trying to write here every left shift of a number is equal to multiply by 2. It's more important. Okay, you try to remember. Similarly, if this is 12 or this is 4, assume this sign bit. 100 is how much? 100 is how much? Is it not 4?
4.
Yeah. So when I do the right shift means LSB will be ignored. This 0 will come here. This 1 will come here. The vacancy position will be updated by 0 again. So right shift. So what is the resultant? You got 0, 1, 0. What is 0, 1, 0 indicates? Is it
2.
not 2? So again you try to remember every right shift number of a number is equivalent to what? Division or multiplication?
Division.
Division.
This you must remember. Okay. So here also we are working on bits only, no? Bits are important. Yes or no? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me go back to the our PPT. I think the program is not written for that, but anyhow, you can practice for all these things, okay? Which I have already mentioned in the explanation part. Is it clear to all of you? You can write on your
Yes,
own.
sir.
This is the second program. First one is without variables. You wanted to verify the outputs of all the arithmetic operators. Second is write a program to verify all the bitwise operators. This second program you are supposed to write in your notes. I will ask in the next class. Then comes a special operator. The last group of the operators called C supports some special operators such as comma operator, size of operator, and pointer operator. So comma operator is used to combine related expressions. I think already in the int a comma b comma c we are using, no, that is like simple without knowing. The comma is used to combine the multiple statement into a single statement. Int a is equal to 10, int b is equal to 10 can also be written as int a is equal to 10 comma b is equal to 10. Yes or no? I think we have done that only, no? Correct or not? Comma is used to combine multiple expressions. That is first thing. Related expression, that is also important. Then a comma linked list of expressions are evaluated left to right. Means x equal to 10 first, then y equal to 5 next, then x plus 5. Is it clear? Can I write x plus y comma x equal to 10 comma y equal to 5? I'm asking all of you, can I write x plus y comma x is equal to 10 comma y is equal to 5? Will it work or not? Respond. It works, but it is a garbage, right? X plus y, we don't know what is that, because left to right evaluation is happening. When left to right evaluation is happening, initially x plus y. X is a garbage, y is a garbage. So x plus y is also a garbage. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Then x equal to 10 is updated, y is equal to 5 is updated. But ultimately x plus y has no meaning in that. So that is the reason you write in this fashion. X equal to 10 first, then y is equal to 5 next, then x plus y. This is correct. Then finally the value is going to be x plus y. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Size of operator, I think in the previous class I just mentioned to what is that? To find the number of bytes of each data type. Size of operator we have used in the printf statement. Correct or not? I'm not going to
Yes,
discuss
sir.
much on it because we have already done in the previous previous class example to know the number of memory bytes for each data type. It's called size of. So size of is a single word within the bracket. You can use either data type name or variable name. Anything is okay. Is it clear?
Okay, sir.
So with this, I think today's class I can stop here. So I just want all of you to try to understand all the operators and practice as many examples or programs are possible. Next class, I'm trying to discuss the type conversion and typecasting and maybe the operator precedence. Means in a single expression, if you are using multiple operators at a time, which operator is going to be evaluated first? So that we will discuss in the next class. So just hold on, I'll take the attendance. Before that, let me stop the recording.